Hello, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is John Rose. Got a question for you guys. Are you a one-sided meat eater? Are you an overeater of starches? Or are you both? Most of us are both, aren't we? Now, I'm using this terminology thanks to Arnold Ehret. Great man. Died almost 100 years ago. Wrote a lot of great books, helped a lot of people, went around the world like I'm trying to do, wake you guys up to the power of fasting and raw food. Arnold Ehret healed himself of Bright's disease, that's kidney disease, with raw food. And then, of course, he found fasting. He went around the world and proving to everybody that you can sustain yourself and even do so better on nothing but water. Solid food vacation on water. Of course, I'm modifying that and putting it on juices to make it more relevant 100 years later. But in Arnold Ehret's days, he said there's two main types of people, body types. Got the fat and the lean. The fat were overeaters of starchy foods. And the lean were one-sided meat eaters. The problem with the overeaters is their body was obstructed. The problem with the one-sided meat eaters was the chemical nature of their body. You see, when we turn to protein for a fuel source, especially animal protein, it's very acidic. It's high in uric acid, and it will eventually kill you prematurely. And I was thinking of this recently for several reasons. One is a commercial I saw the other day that just wants you to go, makes you want to go crazy when you hear nonsense like this, where they said sugar is the enemy of protein. It's just the opposite. Protein is the enemy of sugar. But when we talk about sugar, what are we talking about? The evil thing they sell in the stores, that white sugar stuff, processed sugar, which is a negative food. It robs the body of nutrients when you consume white sugar, processed sugar, refined sugar. But it's not the same thing as the sugar we find in fruit. And people don't really understand how we use energy, so it's easy to trick people into thinking that we don't need carbohydrates, that carbohydrates are somehow bad. When you look at the majority of the carbohydrates that people consume, yeah, those are horrible, they're bad. We're making 5 main mistakes, folks. The third one has to do with the agricultural revolution. That's when we started eating plants that were not biologically adapted to eat. This is the reason why so many vegetarians and vegans are so unhealthy, when they could be much better. And yet, when they adopted the vegan lifestyle, they got rid of a lot of their problems. Because a lot of the problems come from the second mistake we're making, that's eating the animals. And yet there's so much confusion in this area that we think that ketosis is something that is what we're supposed to emulate, and that's what we're supposed to follow, and we're not. The ketogenic diets that are out there right now, people don't understand that this is our backup system. It works for a reason. It's what we do in an emergency mode. We're not supposed to be in an emergency mode right now. Once you understand how our body stores energy, it's a no-brainer to figure out what to eat. And I've done so many videos on this subject. I'll put links down below and probably put a pinned comment on all the videos I've done that talk about this carbohydrate fuel tank we have, and how carbohydrates are the most important nutrient that we need. And we don't realize that because it's a little complicated to figure out how much each person needs, and therefore they don't come up with this magic number. We need a certain amount of essential carbohydrates, like we do essential amino acids for the protein side and the essential fatty acids for the fat side. On the fat side, we only need 1 or 2% of our diet to be fat, essential fatty acids. But carbohydrates are so important that if we don't eat carbohydrates, our body eats itself, the lean body tissue. That's how important carbohydrates are. And yet there's so much confusion in all these areas, understandably. See, I got into this 31 years ago when I started writing a book on weight loss, because I changed my diet for athletic reasons, and it's the same concept that we're going to be seeing soon that's going to blow all of you people out of the water. The game changers. When that comes out, you guys are going to finally realize that if you want to be a manly man, you don't eat the animals. It lowers your testosterone, lowers your libido. It decreases the amount of oxygen we get to our muscles to execute. So when I changed my diet, when I stopped eating animals, my endurance level skyrocketed, and I was putting in 7-8 hours of exercise every day. I knew it made a difference. I wanted to know more, so I perfected a very complicated mathematical procedure to keep track of all of my energy. So I would know how to eat to make sure I didn't run out of the most important energy that athletes need when they're doing a sport like tennis. You need those carbs. And again, the animal protein It's the enemy to sugar. We don't want complex, we want simple. We don't want protein, we want amino acids. We don't want complex sugar, which is starch. We want simple sugar that's found in fruits. And we sure the hell don't want refined sugar of any sort. No processed foods. 5 mistakes, remember? Chemicals, last mistake, chemical revolution. No chemicals. 4th mistake was when we started processing our foods from the Industrial Revolution. Mastered machines, mastered those plants we shouldn't eat, Agricultural Revolution. Mastered the animals on the 2.5 foot line, and started cooking our food consistently on the 1 foot line. 100 yards, a football field, 99% of our existence, we started cooking our food consistently about 60,000 years ago. That allowed us to master the animals and set the forest on fire, start eating the animals consistently on the 2.5 foot line. That'd be about 50,000 years ago. And yet you hear ridiculous arguments saying, oh, you're not going to find any history of vegetarians. Well, look at our history. It only goes back 5,000-10,000 years. It doesn't go back before that second mistake. We don't have real good knowledge of what happened before the first of those 5 mistakes, which is the fall of mankind, where we started altering our food and allowing us to eat foods we should never have ever eaten. So protein is the enemy to all of us, to sugar. It damages the kidneys. Then the kidneys don't filter the lymph system. Remember, our body's nothing but a bunch of cells and 2 main fluids. Kitchen is feeding, the lymph system is cleaning. The kidneys are filter both of those, and if we eat too much animal protein, we're going to damage the kidneys. These won't get filtered, especially the bathroom. The bathroom backs up. That's most of our diseases. I talk about that in all my other videos, especially Healing Secrets Revealed, which will be in the description box below. Now, I could go on and on. I feel like it right now, but I've got to cut this short. Got an appointment in about an hour, and then I can make it back if I end this right now. So, how do I end this video? Well, let me think. Sugar is not the enemy to protein. It's the other way around. Protein is the enemy to sugar. Ketosis. This is our backup system. It works. You can lose weight by doing it. But if you don't know what you're doing, you can lose your lean body mass once your carbohydrate fuel tank empties. And one way to prevent that is to eat all this excess animal protein. So instead of the body going after your own muscle, it goes after the dead animal flesh you're eating. Up to 58% of our protein can be used for gluconeogenesis, excess dietary protein, that is. So we want to keep that carbohydrate fuel tank full. We have to realize there's a lot of ways to lose weight and have a flat stomach. And being a one-sided meat eater, as Arnold Ehret pointed out long ago, is one way to do it, isn't it? Look at me, I'm not processing a whole lot of food. I'm just eating this very highly concentrated food. Protein is complex. My body can't handle it. It's got to go to the liver before we can even digest it. We want food that is simple, free-floating amino acids that's in fruits and vegetables. We eat a banana, we eat grapes, we eat anything that we're designed to eat. We absorb it immediately. It's simple amino acids, free-floating amino acids. That's what we want. So it's more about just losing weight, folks. We want to be healthy. You don't want to just say, well, I can adopt this ketogenic diet and lose weight, but that's going to kill you in the long run because it's going to damage your kidneys. Your bathrooms aren't going to get cleaned up, filtered. They're going to back up, that lymph system I'm talking about, and that's the disease process. Please watch my other videos, Healing Secrets Revealed, and Medicine is the Ultimate Tool of Control, to help you understand. We have 2 short-term self-limited diseases and 4 long-term stages of disease. As long as you don't understand the real cause of disease, you're going to be tricked and fooled into believing in a lot of nonsense out there where people just don't know enough of really what's going on. So, apologize for cutting this video short, and be sure to look at the description box and my pinned comment for related videos that I talk about the carbohydrate fuel tank in much more detail, how ridiculous it is to think we don't need carbohydrates, and how ridiculous it is to use our backup system and become a one-sided meat eater and keep contributing to all the problems on our planet. And I'm telling you, when you can finally wake up and make some sense out of all the confusion out there in nutrition by taking a solid food vacation, that's when you're in for a treat. And I want to leave on this one note. I have a video right now. This is mainly for my current subscribers, or not so much current subscribers, but my long-term subscribers. Is I have a video going viral right now. 63-year-old man reveals secret for a flat stomach. And every day it keeps getting more and more hits. I've gotten over 130,000 views in just 2 days. So there's a lot of I have a lot of new subscribers to my channel right now, And would like for all you other guys that have been around for a while to go back to that video. I'll put a link down below in the description box, so you can also contribute to that conversation, update your experiences on what you've been doing. Share your experience on the solid food vacation. This is so powerful. Remember Aristotle, believe only your own experience. There's no fact like a fact learned from your own life. And when you can finally do that, ow, you're in for a treat.